Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today it's a Monday meta update video. To give you the lay of the land, in case you haven't seen me do this before, we're going to talk about some current events, things going on in Magic, metagame stuff, as well as announcements, things surrounding MTG Arena. Then after I go over those things, we're going to play a quick game with something fun and a little off the wall, a deck I usually would not make a full video about. So let's dive right into it. Today, we're first going to talk about the SCG Players Championship. This was the biggest tournament happening over the weekend. It took the best players from the SCG Tour, which has been adding up its leaderboard all year long, and they battled each other in a number of formats: Legacy, Modern, and of course Standard. The only one of those things we can play on MTG Arena is Standard. The tournament was won by Oliver Tomajko. They didn't even update it as of the time of recording this video, but as you see, it actually just ended. I watched it through to the end. But the tournament was won by Oliver Tomajko over Edgar Malahesh. And it was a matchup where the finals was a rematch between Simic Flash in the hands of Tomajko and Jund Food in the hands of Malahesh. And this time, as opposed to the Mythic Championship, where Jund emerged victorious, this time it was Simic Flash emerging victorious. The meta was very similar without any serious curveballs. The biggest change in the 16-player metagame was an uptick in Simic Ramp, which had many more players on the kind of elemental Cavalier of Thorns Nissa version played by Andrea Mengucci. So there was a bit more of that, but it failed to make it through to the finals. Jund Food and Simic Flash seemed to have a pretty good handle on the best of three meta at this time. The major tournaments for the year are over. There are a few Grand Prix that we're waiting for the results of, one this weekend, and then there's Magic Fest Portland, I believe, next weekend. I might be wrong on that. But those are a few more paper tournament results with nothing else serious planned for the rest of the year. And with Theros Beyond Death releasing in mid-January, I believe, double check my dates, but releasing in mid-January, this is close to dead standard. Of course, we'll all be jamming it between visiting relatives, but for the most part, I think we're looking at a solved meta where Jund Food is incredibly amazing, Simic Flash is an excellent counter deck, and it beats out Fires. Fires was tier 1. Fires will not be tier 1 as long as Simic Flash is also tier 1 because Simic Flash has such a dominant matchup there. But Jund Food hangs in there just fine, and if you're playing best of 3, I would consider Simic Flash and Jund Food as the front-running decks for me to play, unless the meta changes significantly and somebody figures out how to Embercleave in this frickin' format. So that's kind of going to be a wrap on this year's Standard. If I talk about it in next week's Monday meta, maybe something will get shaken up, but it looks like a done deal. Next big piece of news, Magic Legends, an MMO action RPG from the creators of Neverwinter. This was announced at the Game Awards, where Magic basically said, hey, this is coming soon. What soon? I'm not sure, but you can sign up for the beta here. If you want to hit this button and sign up for beta, you can also follow along with this product on all of these socials however you want to. You have to create an Arc Games account, which I did not have. I'm definitely not an MMO expert. I couldn't even tell you what it stands for. I've been told what it stands for. You can tell me what it stands for in comments if you want to, but I won't remember. Not until I actually probably play and dig into this world a little bit more, but it's a very exciting trailer. I have signed up for the beta. If you want, maybe I'll start a clan. I'm going to try to get MTG Nerd Girl to show me how to do this. She's really good at these type of games and she's good at teaching games. So maybe she can help me learn how to play something like this. But if this is your jam, then make sure you go to playmagiclegends.com and sign up for the beta, and maybe you'll be able to get in and have some fun. Next up, Theros Beyond Death. The official trailer also premiered at the Game Awards with over 8 million views and a little bit of trending action. You can find this on the main Magic YouTube channel. I'm not going to play it right here. I don't want the video to get claimed or anything like that, nor do I want to spoil anybody who might want to watch it from the beginning untainted. But by all means, go check out the Theros Beyond Death official trailer, and I have reason to believe that the set will be released about a month from the day I record this. Speaking of which, more talk about Theros Beyond Death. There were some spoilers because there was also a special event in Magic Arena. Let's go revisit that really quickly. If you haven't done it, well, by the time you see this, you'll probably already have known what happened in the Game Awards After Party. Game Awards After Party kind of used what I consider a bit of a sneaky thing to build the hype. It snuck some new cards into the decks. Ashiok Nightmare Muse is one of the new planeswalkers from Theros Beyond Death that will be in Theros Beyond Death. And there are a few other cards from the set here, like Mire's Grasp and Inevitable End, which are kind of nice cards, but they also did something to really, I think, hint at the future prospects of Arena. They threw in some cards from old sets like Hero's Downfall, Ancestral Recall, going all the way back to beta, and somebody made new art for this. Black Lotus. Again, look at the art. They didn't commission this just to have it sit on a server somewhere. I promise you that. Mox Jet and Mox Sapphire programmed into Magic Arena along with Underground Sea. In the white deck, you can also find Mox Pearl, Decree of Justice, and a few other interesting cards. This has caused a lot to speculate that Cube Draft and other interesting kind of formats will be introduced to Magic Arena. I can tell you I don't enjoy this after party format. I like duels decks, but I like some amount of customization. I like a pool of, say, 100 cards that I trim down to 40, like the old Magic Duels games. I don't like being handed a deck and told this is the only 60 cards you can play, and you can only play it against one other deck. That isn't very appealing to me as a format type. So I hope that what they do is create some kind of a small pool or format with these cards. Also, I want to stress that if you did that, if you created, say, an event that lasted for between a week and a month, and it had an entry fee, but the catch was I could play with cards I can't play anywhere else any other time, such as Black Lotus and Ancestral Recall, I would probably pay 10,000 gold to play that event, especially if I had a card pool that I had limited access to build my own decks from and then play the event with. I would 100% dive into that event. Unfortunately, what we have in kind of that vein is Brawladays, a format supposedly supported by MTG Arena that we can play whenever we want using the wonderful website, arenabrawl.net, and Direct Challenge, that we only get the grace and the gift from Wizards of a Q4 on Wednesday. And that if you want to, you can pay 10,000 gold to play this format that you should already have access to year-round. I've had some people tell me that they played this event to get Riz the Redeemed. You only get one copy of this by winning, and you can craft it with a wild card. It is much more cost-efficient to use a rare wild card if you really want this little legendary elf warrior dude. You can go craft it right now. I crafted one in a previous video this week. You do not have to play this event to get it. And please, don't play this event. This is not what we want to encourage. Again, it's totally backwards. They're so backwards. They want to pay you an insane amount to play a format that's already supported and maybe win a special commander. Yet, they're like, here, play with Black Lotus and cards that haven't been released yet for free. I do admit that this event isn't something I would be very happy if I paid 10,000 gold for. Like I said, I want a card pool. I want to be able to build decks from the card pool and then play it in the queue. I want a chance to not just play what's handed to me, but to express creativity with cards I couldn't touch otherwise. I would pay gold for that. So I hope they make the change and get their heads out of their butts on this, because it honestly, guys, it makes every video I make a little saltier when I log into Arena and I have this sitting here in this queue staring at me. It tilts me a little every time. I should be a bigger person than that, but it's not working out. All right, anyway, back to the rest of the update. Let's talk about some Theros Beyond Death spoiler cards that were released. There were also released a lot of alternate versions of the art, which I'll get to. For example, Draxos, Blessed by the Sun, is a very interesting card. It brings back Devotion, which is a mechanic from Old Theros, where every white mana cost impermanence you control counts as devotion. So when you play this for white, it counts for itself. So it becomes a 2/2. Its toughness is equal to your devotion for white. It also has the sweet Soul Warden type ability, except it's only for your creatures. But whenever one of your creatures enters the battlefield or dies, you gain a life. Pretty cool card. But when you have Draxos on the battlefield, and then you, say, put other white cards on the battlefield, like this Nyxborn Courser, now Draxos has 4 toughness, and it keeps going up. What a beautiful card with Benalish Marshal. Too bad they rotated that. Historic, here we come. But they also introduced this alternate art, which is totally amazing. This is I just, like, it seems like they're trying to bring the kind of shiny, what do they call them, cosmetic versions of cards from Arena into paper. I think it looks really great. I'm curious what you think. I think Draxos is a decent card. A few other cards worth talking about. Setessan Champion. 2 in a green, 1/3 with Constellation, which means whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, something triggers. And in this case, you put a +1/+1 counter on the champion and you draw a card. It seems like we've been without an Enchantress-style deck for a while. Some of you may remember Enchantress's Presence, Argothian Enchantress. What was the original? Verduran Enchantress? I'm going way back. But this kind of effect has been absent for some time, and it was very powerful in the past. When it can be a good combo deck, it's an amazing combo deck. So now you see the, I believe it's like Starfield Champion, something. Starfield Mystic, I believe, is in standard right now. And then you add in a card like this so that enchantments trigger it and you get a card draw engine from it. You might have an enchantment center deck that is real. I find that very exciting. And speaking of enchantments that are real, bring back Curious Obsession, but make it a little better. For white and a blue, this one says +1/+1, the creature gains lifelink, and when it deals combat damage, you draw a card. So +1/+1 and lifelink for the white mana, and the blue is Curious Obsession. You also don't have to attack every turn, which was a drawback of Curious Obsession, often forgotten while playing ladder. So this is already a very exciting group of BAMP cards coming in to the next set, and God, does white need it. White has just been the neglected of the 5 children, the 5 colors of magic. Daddy Magic has not been bestowing good stuff on white, but maybe the white sheep of the family can get back in the game with some of these nice enchantment synergies. Speaking of alternate art, we have this Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! Energy, whatever the hell this is, but I think they look really cool. I actually find these full art lands rather gorgeous. I'm pretty excited to use them. I'm pretty excited that they exist. I think they're pretty. My personal take. And then we have some mythic reveals in, this will be the Buy a Box promo. Can't get it from booster packs, but the Athreos Shroud Veiled. It's a lot of text. I'm not going to read all these cards right now. You can definitely go to Scryfall, check them out for yourself. This isn't a review video, just letting you know what's out there. But Ashiok, Elspeth being the 2 big Mythic Planeswalker reveals. These are alternate arts for each of them. Look pretty cool. Kind of picking up the Greek and Roman old school sculpture vibe with this art. Very lovely. So yeah, go check it out. Quick little, quick thing to touch on is that DreamHack has announced it is having Magic Arena tournaments at their festivals, which I find very exciting. I've attended a few DreamHack events, mostly to watch Counter-Strike tournaments, and this in particular at 100,000 per stop and 4 locations seems like a nice tournament series for people to get in on. They will be live streamed, so maybe there's some good watch party material, and the dates are right here. This, by the way, is on the Magic Esports Twitter, and I'm sure you can find it on the DreamHack Twitter as well. If you want more information, there is a link here and some more information with the dates in 2020. Nice to see DreamHack in an alternative tournament scene. I can't wait to see what their coverage is like. They've been amazing at hosting Counter-Strike events, which I enjoy watching sometimes. So yeah, really pumped for them. So that will do it for kind of the Meta Monday roundup. A quick one today without a lot of decks or meta particularly to talk about, mostly some what's going on in Arena to talk about. Hope you enjoyed it. Over here, I'm going to give my thank you and another shout out to Esports Gold. Esports Gold has a way, kind of a cool revolutionary way to follow a player or team in the esport of your choice. You can go into the game that you like. You can follow specific players or teams. So if I wanted to go in here and follow Cloud9, I could sign in with an account, hit the heart right here, and I will always be notified of what's going on with Cloud9. If you want to see the recent match results, they're here, and they have the VODs all collected in one place. If you want to watch a VOD on a specific map, on a specific player, you can find information like that. So a really cool way to follow esports, and they are thinking about starting a section for Magic the Gathering. Now, if you think you've heard this pitch before, you did. I made a video like this last week. I said to click on the link in the description to show people your interest in kind of a following for pro Magic players in sort of the same layout, where they can also put up the VODs, maybe put up what decks they've been playing, what their tournament results have been, what team they're on, things like that. But my link didn't work. So I'm going to make sure the link in the description and one I'll pin in the comments works this time. So if you're interested in their site, please go check them out. Please use the link to do it. They are a sponsor here for the channel. This is a hashtag sponsored promotion, but for the most part, they haven't asked anything of me. I've been working with them for 6 months, and most of what the Esports Gold has done for me is send me insights into how I could make my videos better and give them more reach. Some great insights on just some of the formatting and things that I do. So they've really helped me grow my channel. I don't know if I would have made it to 40,000 subscribers without them, and they have monetarily sponsored the channel, which of course helps me be here for you every day instead of trying to worry about other ways to pay bills. So I appreciate them a lot, and it would help me out a lot if you'd click the link and show them that the CGB audience is interested in esports, both for these existing programs and possibly for Magic the Gathering in the future. Now that we've knocked that out of the way, let's dive in and let a little bit of Magic nonsense begin. All right, we're playing a deck called Dread Black, built by Andrew, one of my patrons. If you'd like to join on Patreon, you get access to a whole bunch of extra videos, and depending what tier you are, I give you personal feedback on a deck. Sometimes if you support me enough, I'll even make a video where I specifically talk about the deck of your choice and what I would do with it. So this one's from Andrew, and I actually had a good time working on it, and I call it Dread Black. It's an artifact-based Dread Presence mono black mid-rangey build. And what is this hand? I think I keep it because if I draw one more land, everything from turn 3 onward is wonderful. The bad part is we're on the draw. If we're against aggro, we might get run over, but I'm willing to take that chance. It's just a game in unranked. In any kind of ranked scenario, I wouldn't keep this hand, to be honest. It just lines up way too slowly. Oh my goodness. Puppet, Swamp, just what we needed. All right, so the artifacts are here because one of our 2-drops is Steel Overseer, and because we use Mystic Forge, Karn, and some other artifact synergies as our value engines in the mid and late game. So I think what we'll do against a Cruel Celebrant is get our Lantern online. If we draw a land off the top, we can take this straight to Golos land. Cruel Celebrant and a decked out Fox is what we have to go on. And a Basilica Bellhaunt, that's an annoying card. I think we can let one of the Golos go. Maybe not. They are an additional resource, and if we ever get to spin them, we get way ahead. Maybe the Servant is the right discard. Servant's okay, but we don't want too many of them. They're just a little too dirtly. We do get the land. Things are working out. Here's Golos. So we can go get Swamp. We have Witch's Cottage. It is a swamp, so it works with Dread Presence. If you fetch it with Golos, though, it enters the battlefield tapped, so you don't get the ability. Just to look around, you see the Overseer, Stonecoil Serpents, Murderous Riders, Karns, Ugins, and kind of a lot of, yeah, that's pretty much how the deck is. That's pretty much what it is. It's a Dread Presence machine with Karn. Really good against Cat Oven decks because Karn shuts them down. Doesn't have great matchups with aggro or control. Anything mid-range, though, you get a real Magic game. You get some excitement. Consume. Yep. Bye-bye. Had a feeling the opponent would find removal for the first Golos. Puppet can put up a nice block here on the Celebrant. Down to 17. And now second Golos. And if the opponent can't remove this one, it's off to the races. And if they can, a Witch's Cottage will set us up to cast Golos again. Even if they remove it, we have a lot more options here. Wow, back-to-back consumes. That's not a card you see spammed every day. And it sure was effective here. On the bright side for me, there wasn't really a way to play around it. It was going to get Golos no matter what. 5 toughness is a lot. Dread Presence. All right, we're gonna wait for a swamp to cast that. Let's see if we can find one with this Clockwork Servant. Draw a card, beautiful. Dread Presence. We could remove the Celebrant here. I don't really respect the Celebrant much. It's brickwalled by the Puppet and isn't doing a lot. So I think drawing a card is better. We do need the value. Lots of the value. Yep, our opponent is proving that they can put a lot of removal in a deck. That's what I'm learning. Ministrant of Obligation, okay. I think it's as good a time as any to block with our Puppet, exile it, and have a 1/1 for next time. Save a little bit of life here. We are getting a little bit low, and these Murderous Riders cost life to use. I think we'll keep playing Swamps as long as we have one backup in the hand. Let's go ahead and swiftly end this Bellhaunt. Ow. But then we can recast this Murderous Rider, so we have a 2/3 lifelinker on the battlefield ready to go. Teysa, whenever something dies, double effect. Feels bad, man. We're going to have to kill that. The opponent attacks with the Ministrant. I think we can block it here. First, let's take out the Teysa. Make sure the opponent doesn't have effects, some kind of removal to get me with. Double Celebrant triggers aren't fun after all. Now we'll make this block. The opponent will get the triggers, and they'll get the 1/1s, which aren't great, but we have the Murderous Rider to attack and kind of try to stay even on life. But we need to draw a card that is not a land. And this flood has become rather severe. Hello. Alright, the opponent goes buff. That helps for 1 attack. Inspiring Captain, not a card we see too much. Also lines up really good against the Murderous Riders with 3 power. It makes me decide whether or not to run these Murderous Riders, chump attack them into the Captain. Oops. First, let's try a Servant, since we get another draw. Let's draw first, see if we find a new option. This has been brutal. I only run 2 lanterns. All right, we'll play the other lantern. Do we send the Murderous Riders? I feel like I'm going to need the life. I also need some blocks on the way back. I guess Servant and 1/1 could block the Captain if it attacked. And if it attacked, that would kind of be good for me. So yeah, let's send these. I just need the life, and I may as well make the most of the attack while I can. All right, opponent, will you top deck another land for me? We'll hold this in case of Dread Presence. No, they will not top deck a land for me. And here come the 1/1s. All right, we've got a few turns to get out of this. There's a Steel Overseer. Far from a dead draw, but not the greatest. Whoa, what did they draw? Are they trying to kill me through the Celebrant? Maybe. Or just shorten the clock, I guess. Might as well chump here too. These get stronger. Maybe I can ignore the Captain here. Maybe I don't need to kill it right now, but I really feel like I should just avoid taking any damage. I don't know what the opponent could have. Okay. Okay. Call me confused. Here's an Overseer. Let's buff team. Do we save the Servant to block the Enforcer, or do we block it with an Overseer? I'm definitely attacking with this for the life. I want the Enforcer to attack, don't I? And if I want the Enforcer to attack, I may as well block it here, because if I block with the Enforcer, the opponent gets their third 1/1, but I get to keep getting in with my lifelinker, which offsets 2 of the 1/1s. If the opponent draws a removal spell, though, I'm in a terrible spot. Yeah, I guess I'm like this. My God! All right. Let's go. And the opponent wants to block the Rider, but I want the life. Down to 18. And we are at 7 going to 4, going to 1, going to dead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's a 2-turn clock for us. If the opponent whiffs 2, we can race them. Never mind. Never you mind. Well, that was painful, but I hope you enjoyed it. The deck is definitely more of a casual, bit nonsensey deck, but there's a link to it in the description. If you are a little inspired by what you see, you can always let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much to Andrew for sending it to me, and I hope you enjoyed this video and this Monday meta update. And as always, I'll see you in the next video, where we will be playing Simic. Simic was the random choice for our next color challenge video, and I got something evil up my sleeve. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.